and welcome to On the Grass. I am Tom Gibson. I'm joined alongside next to me with Ella Barber, and today we have ex-professional footballer and Sky Sports pundit Clinton Morrison. Delighted to be joined with you, Clinton. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to it.
No problem at all. Thank you for your time
Anytime.
today. To start off, we've got a quick 30-second game for you. Are you ready?
I don't know if I'm ready. I'm a bit nervous, but I think I'm ready.
So, which element out of the player development module would you have liked a manager to have said to you an hour before kick-off as a player? You've got 4 options,
Yep.
and you're going to have 30 seconds to answer.
All right then.
Your options, you have physical, social, technical, and psychological. Your 30 seconds.
Wait, hold on. I know I've got 30 seconds. What the best describes me in that? Is that what you're saying?
Which one of those
Yeah.
would you have liked a manager to prep you with before going into a game?
Oh yeah, come on. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I got it.
So your 30 seconds is going to start in 3. On the referee's whistle. 3, 2, 1.
It's the one that gets into my head because I needed I needed that. I was a bubbly person, but the reason I was bubbly in the change rooms is because I was nervous before games. But if the manager gets into my head and says to me, "You're gonna have a good game. You're my main striker," then I'm full of confidence going onto the football pitch. But I needed that. Everyone knows me as a bubbly person, but deep down, I was the most nervous before a football game.
Really?
So I'm really telling you my secrets here. But I told you I'd be honest with you.
Brilliant. That is quite interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, just in time. So, going into now, what you're doing nowadays with Sky Sports, how is that for you, being a presenter?
No, it's good to be fair. Listen, it's something, I think when you finish football and you're coming into the other side, you don't know what you're going to do. And everyone says, prepare for it. But I never really prepared for it. And I was thinking, so I think when I did finish football, there were times of me, and no one, I don't really share this with people, but I feel like you have to be honest and open. I think I was depressed a bit because I didn't come out of the house for literally a couple of months, didn't know what I was going to do in life. And then I got an opportunity to go onto Sky Sports News, and kind of the rest is history. They gave me the platform to go and express myself and be the person I am today. And I don't change. Everyone that knows me knows when I'm on the TV, I'm the same bubbly, funny character. And I just enjoy the job. But it's hard, the transition from professional football finishing day to day, where you're training and having banter and a laugh and stuff with your teammates, to go and not doing anything from day to day is really difficult. But when that opportunity came to work in the media, is the best thing ever.
How did that opportunity come about? Did you know someone in Sky? Did they reach out to you?
Yeah, I knew a lady, her name was Elizabeth, and she said to me, I knew her beforehand, and she was like, she worked for Sky Sports News. She said, come in and watch a game. So I was like, all right, I'll come in and watch a game. But I was nervous. So then, you're thinking, you see them doing it and you're thinking, oh, it's going to be easy. And then you realize there's millions watching this on Sky Sports News. So I did it and it went well. But the problem is I decided I wanted to go and look on social media. And I shouldn't look on social media because social media can be positive, but it also could be negative. Yeah. And the negative comments I was getting kind of played with my head. And I was thinking, is this really for me? But then I realized, as you go on and on and on, you're always going to get negative people that don't like you. But I get much more positive now, and I hardly get any negative. But at the beginning of when I was starting my media, yeah, you did get put down a bit. But I'd say to people, the people that are having a go at you, they're jealous of what you're doing. You'll have it when you do well and you progress, both of you, and be presenters. You always have negative comments because people are jealous that you're doing ever so well.
And you mentioned that you was nervous before you done it. Was you more nervous before playing a game of football, or more nervous when you went into Sky Sports?
Oh no, when I went into Sky Sports. I was always nervous playing football, but once I had that first touch, I know I'm in my element there. That's me. I know I'm not bad at playing football and I can score goals. And once I score the goals, I got the celebrations. You have to concentrate for the 2 hours that you're on Sky and make sure you say the right things and stuff like that. And as I said, it's going out there in front of millions of people and everyone's judging you, scrutinizing you. So you've got to be on top form. But now I just take it as just when I'm working on TV, I'm just with friends and we're discussing football. So it's just, it's more chilled now. But at the start, it was very nervous.
Obviously, with Sky, you have to, you're watching a range of different games, Premier League, different leagues. But focusing on the Premier League, how different do you feel the Premier League is this season compared to past seasons?
No, it's really different. I think It's more different now because I think a lot of the teams have spent well, and it's going to be really competitive. They've brought in VAR, which we've had it for a few seasons now, and it's still up and down. I do like VAR, but I think the people that are in VAR need to stop eating and having lunch and watch the games, because some of the decisions they're making, it's look like they're watching something else and they're rushing in. Oh, no, yeah, no, overturn it. Oh, it's a penalty. Take your time. You've got so much time in the VAR. Take your time. So other than that, the Premier League has moved on. Obviously, it's got a lot of money in it. Players are getting ridiculous amount of wages, which is good luck to them. They're in an era now where they're entertaining, and you probably, out of every sport, that is the most watched sport, and everyone loves football, and the Premier League is outstanding. So yeah, it's a fantastic league. I will say, and you'll probably ask me a question now about who do I think will probably go on and win it, and I'm gonna have to say at the start of the season, I said Liverpool. Yeah. And I'm not changing my mind even over the last previous 2 results, but Arsenal are gonna run them really close.
Okay then. So with VAR, what you mentioned there.
Yep.
You mentioned obviously they can take the time.
Yeah.
One of the things that was scrutinised a lot with referees was how long it was taking.
Yeah.
Fans were getting so annoyed. If you're in the stadium, if you're watching it on the TV, you can hear, you can understand it more. Do you feel they should take more time? You'd rather it be a longer process but a correct decision than as you feel it being rushed into an incorrect decision?
Yeah, definitely, because it can decide titles and it can decide people getting relegated. So take your time when you're in VAR. The semi-automated offside has helped this season. I think it's helped, because last season you're probably drawing it with rulers to see if they're in line of play. I even got it sometimes out at work as like, yeah, maybe he's just offside. So I do feel like it should go in favour of the attacker, but it doesn't now. So I do think those kind of the offside decisions, they're right. And also what I like is the referee now having to explain to everyone inside the ground of why the goal was disallowed, or why the goal stood, or why the penalty was disallowed, because I think that's better, because last season and a few seasons we're sitting there and no one knows. They just said VAR checking. But yeah, you hear it. I was in the ground on the weekend. I was at Villa Fulham, and they had scored a goal, and it was like Villa scored a goal and it said VAR checking, and the groans that you hear from the fans, they always worry that it's going to be disallowed, and you can't really sometimes, I think, as a player, celebrate. But I do think they need to take their time. I do think VAR will work in the long run. I do think it is good, and I do think it's really important because it can decide big decisions. So yeah, just take your time. Like, as I say, you've seen it before where we got clips last season of where they were in VAR and everyone was shouting and at each other and talking over each other. Just relax. I know it's in the heat of the game, but I think that both teams will want the right decision, and management and fans.
Yeah. What's that like in the Sky Sports studio then, when you have Mike Dean, who refereed in the Premier League for so many years?
Yeah, he's funny. He's my mate though. Like, we stay in a hotel on a Friday, and I always pick him up when we drop him into Sky, and I always just take the mick out of him. And I was like, who would have thought you, of all people, I'd be given a lift into work? Because when you were refereeing me, you was the most annoying referee out there, like proper annoying, giving me yellow cards. But actually, Mike Dean, I get on really well with him. He's a really nice guy, and he's so different to what you see when he was refereeing to off the pitch. Like, we got such a special bond and a connection. It is quite good, but I love winding him up, because I always say, you're not doing what, you've got it wrong again. Because what you lot see is different. Like, he'll say, yeah, he gets it right, but off camera he'll be like, oh, I thought maybe it was onside, and it wasn't offside. So I said, what are you doing? What are you doing here? But he is good. Mike Dean was one of the best referees around for a long time, and now we do have fun. It is good to have him on set with us. It's a lot of fun, and he's a good guy, to be fair.
Do you have any stories of when he gave you a yellow card? Is there anything that sticks out?
No, not really, because he never sent me off. It's quite funny, because he sent Michael Dawson off, who's on the panel with him, and I was like, well, Dawson's probably made a tackle because he couldn't catch the centre forward, and he's probably the last man, and he's done that. But Mike's been all right with me. He said, no, I've never sent you off. He said, I feel like what I was like with referees, I was nice to them before the game, and then when it wasn't going right during the game, I'd know what to say, but then I'd know when to be quiet and walk away, because I don't want to get a yellow card or a red card and get fined. But nowadays, I don't think you can speak to referees and throw your hands in the air, which is fair enough. You've got to respect the referees. They have a hard job. They do have a hard job. But that's why VAR is there, to help the referees. And that's why it should be working.
Yeah. So with Sky then, what does your typical day look like from the minute you get up, what you have for breakfast?
Yeah, to be fair, like, what if I sometimes, not all the time, because sometimes I'm at home, but if I stay in a hotel the night before, because the studios are literally 5 minutes, and then I'll obviously get up, have a shower, brush your teeth, get your clothes ready, and then meet the rest of them who sometimes it would probably be, bring in Mike Dean. If Chris Boyd's down from Scotland, I'd bring in Chris Boyd and Michael Dawson, and we'd just go straight to the studios, and then we'd have our breakfast there. So we'd order, some of us, they'd have a fry up, some of them, I'd have porridge. Me and Paul Merson probably, we'll have our porridge because we have our porridge, and the rest will have different stuff. Then we'll sit there, we'll talk about what each other's done for the week and over the games. Then we'll have a meeting. We'll have a meeting with the producer, tell us what's going to happen in the show. And then we'll go downstairs, and this is the best bit, which people like, but I think everyone knows. We'll go and put makeup on, because we need to make sure we got the anti-shine, so we're not shining, and we look pretty on the TV. So that's why. So we have the makeup on, and then we go on the show, and we work from 12 till 6, and it's just, it's good fun. But it's the people that I work with are special people at Sky. They're really good people, and there's a good connection, and I love my job, and I love going into work every day, because every single one of them I get on well with. Listen, there's people that you get on with a bit more because you speak to them more regular, but I like every single one of them, and we have a good laugh, and it's good fun. Yeah.
Final one from me.
Yep.
Which is better, being a footballer or being a football pundit and presenter?
Oh, that's a good one, to be fair. But I would have to say a footballer's the best thing. When you love scoring goals and entertaining on the football pitch, and having arguments with defenders and referees, that's the best thing. But I do love my pundit. This is the next best thing other than being a footballer, for sure. But the best thing is being a footballer, trying to entertain people.
Brilliant, thank you for that.
No worries.
We'll go into a brief break now, listening to what is next at Derbyshire FA.
Welcome to the half-time break, where we're just going to talk all things Derbyshire FA. My name's Pete Lansley, casual coach developer. Delighted to be joined by Ashley Donovan, football development officer, and Alex Walker, football development manager, I do believe. So since we last chatted, you were at Keddy Road with us in the summer at the University of Derby. Alex, what are the updates?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously things are moving really well in the coaching space. It's great. Obviously, delighted to be here today for Clinton's episode of our On the Grass podcast. But at the same time, I think we're really moving things along in terms of our coach development plans. I think we're really delighted to share that we've now appointed a coach development officer as well, who will come and work really closely with Ash and yourself, of course, as one of our casual coach developers to really identify those next generation of club coach leads. And what we mean by that is people within grassroots clubs that have the qualities and skills to become coach developers in their own environment. The person who we appointed, Steve Pritchard, has done the job previously. He's delivered courses, B licenses, C licenses, worked for the FA, worked for Villa, works at Derby currently. So a wealth of experience, and somebody who I think is really going to help drive coach development in our county.
Can you give us a bit of detail how your grassroots coach who's listening or watching this will benefit from Steve and the new structure?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a very much like a pyramid approach, a bit of scaffolding approach. So the grassroots coaches right at the heart of the grassroots footballing community will be drawing down from support from within their club. People who we're looking to identify as a county FA that have the skills to become coach developers within their club. So those coach developers will then draw down support from the likes of yourself, from the likes of Ash, from the likes of Steve, to make sure that they've got the content, the knowledge and the skills to be able to disseminate that back into the grassroots clubs. But yeah, the grassroots coaches themselves are going to benefit greatly from this increased geographical approach. It's going to be more targeted, it's going to be more specific, I think, and also far more in their own environment. So we're not asking people to travel out with their own club settings. We're not asking people to only do online stuff. You're really going into that club itself, these thriving community clubs that we look to identify now, and making sure that people are getting learning in their own environment.
Sounds good. Ash, what sort of events have been going on over the summer?
Yeah, well, a lot of planning, to be fair.
Yeah.
We just stuck with a partnership with the Premier League, so we'll go to watch Premier League Under-21 International Cup fixtures, so hence why I've got some bags under my eyes. I was at the Hawthorns last night watching West Brom versus Norwich under 21s. Kind of what we want to do is there's kind of a lack of coach development stuff for 11v11 game. So as part of that, we're going to observe some fixtures, hear by some head of coaching, kind of the managers for those teams, and talk through what they're going to set their teams up as tactical wise. We'll observe the game and feed that back. So we've got some there. We've got Real Madrid versus City under 21s, which is a big one.
I'm available for that one.
So am I, funny enough. Kind of got Forest versus Forest, PSG, Benfica. We've got all sorts going on, some really good stuff. Got some coach development events at Derby County Academies, observing some of their sessions as well with the FB and YDP phases. And we're going to go to Chesterfield to the Virtue Trophy. They're playing Liverpool on 21s. I'm going to go watch that. One of the first team coach, Paddy's going to come up to us before the game, talk about how the team's going to set up. Probably not giving away too much information. We'll watch the game and he'll come up after the game and talk about how he thinks the plan went. So a lot of stuff, probably 11-11 game, which is good. And the same as Alex said before, around splitting the county into region-wise. So the idea is that all of those CPDs will be free for coaches to attend. We want to take away that kind of cost barrier. There'll be some costs in terms of 11-11 stuff, but for the county-wide club-specific CPDs, free to attend, and trying to get more coaches get the knowledge up, really.
Absolutely. And how will the grassroots coaches, how would they access those sort of opportunities?
We should need to put a link on the bottom now, don't we, and a QR code. So basically come into pitch booking, they can do it there. So it's on our website. I send out a number of emails. I'm sure people just put them in delete boxes, and I don't blame them. But we've got a number of things. Social media on our website, and on pitch booking is the best place to find these. You just click on. It takes I think 30 seconds to sign up, so it's not bad at all.
Great. Can I ask you how the new formats, we had the Future Fit we were talking about in the spring, and I'm sure that's been a mixed bag, but great for the future of football. Can you just sum up what it is and then how it's been rolling out?
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, it's a new entry format to football. So they're coining it "Welcome to Football," which is I'm really obviously on board with it. 3v3 format. That's what it is in its youngest age groups, at under sevens. The research shows that it's going to give kids more technical actions, more goals at attacking, more goals at defending, and fundamentally and most importantly, it means that every single player that comes on a match day to play football will be playing football. They won't be staying on the sidelines. They won't be a sub. So whether we play 3v3s, 3v2s, every single kid will be playing for the duration of that time that they're there, which I think is the most important thing at that age group. There is obviously difficulties and logistics and trying to challenge a bit of a culture that it doesn't look or feel like football. I think that's something that we're feeling across the board, that your coaches that at those youngest levels, maybe that have kids in the team that have maybe been part of a different era, they want the game to look and feel as close to the 11v11 game as possible. So it's really difficult sometimes to change that way of thinking or that culture, but I think we'll get there, and ultimately the heart of the child has to be at the forefront of it. The enjoyment of the game and how many goals they're going to get being on the ball. So that'll be rolled out over the next 12 months. So we've just actually slipped into October, so we've now got 11 months left. It'll be in September when it gets rolled out through leagues. And there'll be a series of events and sort of festivals that happen between now and the start of it in September to make people more comfortable with it, with the helps of our leagues. Some leagues more accepting than others at the moment. Yeah,
but definitely a step in the right direction. And so thanks for listening to this bit. Ella's now going to talk to Clinton a little bit more about his grassroots experiences, his coaching experiences, and who his influences are.
Welcome back to the On the Grass podcast, where we're joined with Clinton Morrison. Just wanted to ask you a bit about the managers you've worked with. Yep. Is there one that's had the biggest influence on you, and how did they kind of get the best out of you as a striker?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say the biggest influence on my career as a manager was probably Steve Bruce. When I went to Birmingham, he was with me at Palace for a bit in the Championship, then he took me to Birmingham in the Premier League, and it was different. It kind of got me. When I was younger, I was a bit of a handful. If something I didn't agree with on the training pitch, I'd be the first one to go and say something to him, and then I'd throw a bit of a tantrum, I'm not going to lie, and then he'd say leave him because he loves football so much. He'll come back and then apologise. Within 2 minutes, I'd come back and then apologise. His man management skills are really good. Like maybe not so much what he's done as a coach on the pitch, but man management skills for players I thought was fantastic. He had other coaches who could take coaching session, but for me, he kind of got me, and that's why for me he's probably my favourite manager I've had alongside Steve Coppell, who gave me my debut at Crystal Palace.
How important are those man management skills? Like, as a manager, do you think it's more important to have tactical skills or man management? Like, if you had to pick one, which would you say is more important?
Very good. I would probably say man management. Tactical, you should know as a manager tactically it's good. Like, if you look at it now, and I think Pep Guardiola is probably tactical and management. He's got both of them put together, but that's because he's won everything. It's probably one of the best managers around. So Alex Ferguson probably was the same at that. And now you look at managers like Jurgen Klopp, probably man management skills fantastic, one of the best. I love Jurgen Klopp, the way he hugs his players and he's always involved with them. So yeah, every manager is different, but if you can combine them together like Pep Guardiola, then you have a super manager. But I do think it's big, and I think more so strikers love to get loved, an arm around the shoulder. When you're having a bad time of it, you're turning around, you're thinking, who can you look to? And if your manager's still got faith in you, it gives you so much confidence. So yeah, two good questions though. You're putting me on my toes there.
For a striker who's going through a goal drought, what do you want as that striker? Like, what do you think coaches can do to support them and help them get that confidence back?
Yeah, well, you saw it recently. I think Ollie Watkins was going through a goal drought, and everyone keeps talking about it. And when you're at a big club, everyone's and you're playing in the biggest league, everyone's gonna talk about it. But I think for a striker, what you got to keep doing is getting in those positions. The day you stop getting into those positions is the day you won't score. You have to keep getting in there. It's the same with someone like Man United, Šeško. Everyone's judging him at the moment. He's only just come to the Premier League. Give him a bit more time. And yeah, he has missed a few chances. I'd be more worried if I'm not getting the chances. That's what I'm being more worried. If you're not getting chances, then you've got to look at yourself. But if you're getting the chances, eventually one will go in. How are they going? They come like buses. Once you get one, they just keep coming and coming. So keep getting into them positions and keep working hard on the training pitch. When I was in a situation like that, even if no one wanted to come and do finishing with me, I'd get like around the balls and just keep hitting the target, but just keep trying to hit the corners, not the middle of the goal, even if there's not a goalie there, because you know if you hit the corners, it's going to be difficult for the goalkeepers.
I wanted to ask you a bit about the evolution of the number 9. Obviously, we're seeing more false 9s and fluid front threes. Is that something you like to watch now, especially as a pundit, or do you prefer the traditional striker? Yeah,
to be fair, I like the traditional 4-4-2 because it was me, but I don't know how I would be in this number 9, because the number 9, you have to do too much running and work too hard. If you've got two strikers, you can complement each other, but it would be different. I think if you've got two exceptional wingers either side of you, it's so different. I don't think anyone does the 4-4-2 anymore. I think the only one who would do it if he came back to the Premier League would be Sean Dyche. He's done a lot of that at Burnley, but if I can think off the top of my head now, everyone loves that traditional 4-3-3. It's just changed. It's like when people say low block. What is that? Just get back into your shape and defending your numbers, but they call it a low block. It's just different names, and as you get older and you go through the times, everyone has different words they want to say. But no, that's where football is changing and it is evolving. So yeah, we're always trying to improve the game, so it's good.
If I could just jump in there quickly. You mentioned about some of your playing days there. I've got a date for you and I want to see if you can remember what happened on this date.
Wow.
10th of May, 1988.
1988?
1988. If my research is correct.
Hold on. 10th of May, 1988. No, not 1988. 1998. Because 1988 would have made me 9. And I would have got that wrong. So no, definitely not. So it's 98, and I do remember because that has got to be. Palace had just been relegated from the Premier League. I came on as a sub in the Premier League and managed to score my debut against Sheffield Wednesday 1-0. Lombardo crossed it and I scored against Kevin Pressman. I remembered it, but I knew what you were talking about, but you just had the year. I was like, no, I wish I did make my debut at 10, 11. I'd have been the youngest player ever to score on it. But yeah, I do remember it, and it was a great day. I feel like everyone wants to be a professional footballer, and when you get that opportunity to the club that you've kind of grown up with and from South London and crossing that white line and managed to score on your debut, it's the best feeling in the world. There's not many that score on their Premier League debut, so I'll take that.
On that time when you were getting substituted on,
a
lot of players when they make the debut, they say the manager's talking to me about the tactics and I can't remember because you've got such a buzz. You're about to make your debut.
Yeah.
Can you remember anything that you was told?
Nah, I don't listen to. I mean, you're exactly that. I was jumping up and down. I was excited. I could see the fans, getting excited. I could see my family in the stand. So all you're thinking about is just get me on this pitch. I don't want anyone else to get injured. And we've used and he decides he wants to make a different sub. So just get me on the pitch as soon as the ball goes out of play, and then you're just excitable and you just want that first touch. And then once you get that first touch, you're happy, and then you just think to yourself, but now everything goes out the window because everything you've lived and dreamed for to be a professional, now making your home debut at Sellers Park in front of fans that have adored you, it was the best feeling in the world. And then to put the ball in the back of the net by a player, Attilio Lombardo, who used to give me lifts into training as well. So it felt like it was just written in the stars, and we're still in contact now. So yeah, it's one of the best days ever. But yeah, I wish it was 88, but not 88. Yeah.
Sorry for making
No, don't worry about that. It's good. It's good. I like it. I could have just said, I made my debut at 10 or 11.
Final one from me then. Is there a manager, past or present, that you never worked under that you wish you would have?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I think there's 3 managers I would have loved to have worked under. Sir Alex Ferguson. No, 4. I'm gonna go 4. Sir Alex Ferguson, because I thought he was fantastic, unbelievable manager. Arsene Wenger, because he came into the Premier League and changed everything in the Premier League. Arsenal was fantastic, and then he would have got to play with the likes of Thierry Henry, who I admire. I would say Jurgen Klopp, because I think fantastic. I just loved what he brought, everything he's brought to Liverpool, and the way he gets involved, and the energy just reminds me of myself, not in terms of manager, because he's a different manager, but just the energy that he has. And the last one is obvious, Pep Guardiola. I just think he improves players. I think Pep, you saw one player I could say who improved massively was Raheem Sterling. His time at Man City just improved him massively and made him a top quality player. So they're the 4 managers. I love all the managers, but they're the 4 I would have to pick out. And if you're going to try and ask me who's the best out of them, I can't do it. But that would be Pep or Sir Alex Ferguson. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Who would you say is the toughest defender you came up against? And did your manager help you in tackling that challenge?
No, that's a good one. I would say in the Premier League there was probably, it's like 3 or 4 I'd say, but in the Premier League, but I'd say probably Rio Ferdinand, John Terry, Sol Campbell, and probably Ledley King, but he played with a lot of injuries. But if Ledley had been fit, he would have been one of the best around. I thought he was a fantastic. But they were the 4 outstanding defenders. The best defender though I played against when I played him for the Republic of Ireland against Italy was Fabio Cannavaro, and he won the Ballon d'Or. You don't win that as a centre-back if you're not the best. He looked the best, he was cool, he had great hair, he's a good-looking lad, so he was always going to have a good game, and he was outstanding against me. He taught me a lot. I said to my manager when I came off, I didn't know, everything I tried to do, I couldn't do because he'd read where my runs I was going to make, beat me in the air, he wasn't the tallest. And my manager said it's a learning curve, like you go away, go and watch it. Back then it was videos and DVDs, that's how old I am. And we go back and we watch it, and I watched it, and next time you play against him, you make sure you're better. So you're always learning.
What did it mean to you to represent the Republic of Ireland?
It was brilliant. It was a big decision because I got called up to play for the England under-21s, and my nan was Irish, and she always said, you can play for Ireland, but no one believes me. Obviously, look, I'm from South London, I don't have the Irish accent. Everyone, when I'm telling them I've got Irish in me, used to go, Clinton, be quiet, you're just winding everyone up. I said, I promise you I have, because we used to go fishing there when I was 10 or 11 and visit family in Dublin. So yeah, it was totally different. But when I represented Ireland, one of the best thing ever, and I scored on my debut for them against Croatia, which was, it was fantastic, and they kind of accepted me, the fans over there, and going to the 2002 World Cup with them, just a great experience. But one game stands out, and that was when we played Brazil, and they had the likes of Cafu, Carlos, Ronaldo, R9, and I got man of the match that game. Even though we drew 0-0, I got man of the match. That is my claim to fame. Playing against the best and getting man of the match.
In terms of your self-coaching, am I right in saying you did a bit of coaching after you retired?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit about that and how you found that?
I love coaching. I did, my son was playing at Corn, which is in Leicester, but I did coaching before that. I did it for Beaumont, but then with another guy called Ollie Moore, who does a lot in the Grassroots in Leicester, so I did that, and we developed a lot of players. I had a few players go on to an academy, and then last season I did it with Johnny and Matt Pinchins for Corn FC, and it was brilliant. I loved it. The boys were fantastic. We won the league and we won the League Cup. We should have probably won the County Cup, but went down to like 10 and lost our goalkeeper, and then we had to put an outfield player in goal and lost on penalties. So that's our excuse for not winning. But it was a great time and the lads were fantastic, got the best. I love coaching at Grassroots. I love giving back, because without Grassroots, I wouldn't have been a professional footballer. Everyone has to start from somewhere. I remember going over to the parks and stuff, but I love coaching. But the thing I have to control more than anything is on the touchline. I'm so like vocal, where sometimes some players can take it and some players can't. So you have to look at yourself and say, the ones who you know who need, like, you know, kind of, come on, you've got to be better than that. And then the ones who you know, you've got to just encourage. Like, I can go to my son and be going at my son, and my son just goes, whatever, dad. And then he'll still be outstanding. Like, he picked up players of years. It wasn't me voting, it was obviously the players and the management. But yeah, it was a brilliant time, to be fair. Really do enjoy coaching. It's one of the best things ever to coach. I love to give back, and if I wasn't doing all my stuff in the media, I'd be coaching now again.
Now you've coached and done some punditry, do you kind of sympathise with your managers, and do you see them in a different way that you played under?
Oh, definitely. I totally sympathise with them, with the way I used to act towards my manager. If my manager would say something, I'd say, you don't know what you're talking about. It's totally different. And now I'm on the other side, and the player's going like that, throwing his hands at me. You do get irritated as a manager, because you're thinking you should really respect your manager. So I've always said it. All my old managers that, you know, I've met before, I've always said I apologise for how my behaviour was, and I was a bit out of hand. I thought I knew it all, but I think as a youngster, you do think you know it all, but it's not until you come out of that side and go into something different that you realise these managers were trying to help you, and they know it. They've done their badges, so you learn a lot. But I do enjoy the coaching. The coaching is really good fun. I love to give back, and when you see youngsters like performing on the stage, and then they go on and they're in academies. Even if I played like a 1% chance of helping them, it's brilliant. And it's quite good where people can come and ask me for advice, and they literally sit there for 5-10 minutes and listen to what I have to give them, and that's the most important thing.
And then we're going to go into a game of this or that.
Yeah.
So I've got a few noted down.
This or that?
Fire.
Okay, I like
Quick
this or
fire
that.
answers, literally like
quick. Yeah, just
one
say
or two
this or
words,
that.
This or that.
All right, yeah.
VAR, no VAR.
Do you want me to say yes or no, or just this and that?
So you just pick one. Pick one or the other.
This. No, sorry, I've gone wrong. Let's do that again. How stupid is that? No, sorry, do it again. I don't know why I said this or that. It's because I thought it was this or that. Don't ever show this out. We need to cut this.
Oh, I get what you mean.
It's good banner, but go. I meant yes
you
for
meant
VAR. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how have I done that? It was going so well. Anyway, it's good TV, isn't it?
It's good TV. Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff or midweek under the floodlights?
Oh, midweek under the floodlights.
Selhurst Park or St Andrews?
Oh, that's a tough question. I knew that was coming. I will have to say Selhurst Park, because I was there 9.5 years. But I love Birmingham.
Love Birmingham.
Oh, yeah.
Win the World Cup, win the Champions League.
Win the World Cup.
World Cup.
Yeah.
Score a header or score a volley?
Oh, volley, I couldn't. Have you seen my head? I could use my head. Struggling there. Volley's better technique.
Better technique.
Yeah.
Radio, TV, punditry.
TV punditry. I love being in the TV, but I also like doing my radio stuff live at a game, but TV punditry.
And then finally, long ball or play out from the back?
Oh, play out from the back, but in the right areas. I see too many teams now trying to play out from the back, and they get impressed. Sometimes it is good to go up the field and turn teams instead of keep playing out from the back. When Southampton got relegated and they kept on doing it, you've got to make your decision to go from back to front.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was quite good apart from this and that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
where I mucked
that
up
was
this
quite
and
good.
that. Okay, sorry, my fault. No, I totally went mind blank. But very good questions. I really did enjoy it. It was good. Really did enjoy it. And keep up the good work. And hopefully I'll see you on the TV screens one day, both of you, because they were really good questions.
Thank you. Thanks for watching On the Grass podcast. We'll be back soon with more guests and more episodes.